felt like no decision at all to sue the university. After the actions that the administration of this campus authorized police to take against me and all the protesters that were out there, there was no question that we had to defend our movement and defend our right and the right of all of us collectively to stand up and fight for public education, to fight against the privatization of our university. And so we made this decision to sue the university in order to defend our right and the right of the movement to continue to fight for public education.
I think it's a real honor to be representing the 29 protesters who stood up for public education in the face of that brutality. I think that this lawsuit's an opportunity to be a voice for what the movement was fighting for and against the whole plan of privatizing and raising tuition at UC Berkeley. It's a real opportunity to advance what those protesters, I was one of them too, were fighting for. So I think it's a great opportunity. And as a graduate of UC Berkeley Bolt School of Law, it's kind of cool. You know, UC Berkeley is an opportunity, it trains people who are, who are shakers and movers. And, and UC Berkeley is a real place where a lot of the future of education is going to be decided. So it only makes sense.
I think this lawsuit will do a great deal to defend public education, most importantly because it will help build the student movement, which is essential to the task of defending public education. And it will do that because it makes clear that there are a group of students that are prepared to stand up for public education, to identify and support the oppressed and see the importance of combining the struggles of students on this campus with the Latino and Black communities of this nation. And this lawsuit can do a great deal to make clear that that is the way to win.
Hall on the Berkeley campus. That was the beginning of the free speech movement.
There are at least two ways in which sit-ins and civil disobedience and whatever, at least two major ways in which it can occur. One, when a law exists, is promulgated, which is totally unacceptable to people, and they violate it again and again and again till it's rescinded, repealed. All right, but there's another way. There's another way. Sometimes the form of the law is such as to render impossible its effective violation as a method to have it repealed. Sometimes the grievances of people are extend to more than just a law, extend to a whole mode of arbitrary power, a whole mode of arbitrary exercise of arbitrary power. And that's what we have here. We have an autocracy which runs this university. It's managed. We were told the following: if President Kerr actually tried to get something more liberal out of the regents in his telephone conversations, why didn't he make some public statement to that effect? And the answer we received from a well-meaning liberal was the following. He said, would you ever imagine the manager of a firm making a statement publicly in opposition to his board of directors? That's the answer. Well, I ask you to consider, if this is a firm, and if the Board of Regents are the Board of Directors, and if President Kerr, in fact, is the manager. And I tell you something, the faculty are a bunch of employees, and we're the raw materials. But we're a bunch of raw materials that don't mean to have any process upon us, don't mean to be made into any product, don't mean to end up being bought by some clients of the university, be they the government, be they industry, be they organized labor, be they anyone. We're human beings.
One or two courses to take. That is, to go back to class and allow the school to go on with the Black Student Union and Third World students' demands not being met, with the faculty and students being stepped on. Now, there's a strike going on here, and that means the classes should not be functioning.
And we united together. We had a 3,000-person rally on campus and then marched around a little bit part of the area around Sproul on the street in the city of Berkeley, came back and voted to set up an encampment, and then began to set up the tents. And right as soon as we started to do that, the police immediately moved in, grabbed the tents, and then also started to brutalize protesters. it was just absolutely the right thing to do. We were strong when we were unified. We linked arms to both express our solidarity politically, and also we were stronger because we were then united in one unit, which is what we were out there to be. That's what a movement does, is we bring together a collection of a whole mass of people, and we're stronger because we're unified. When we saw the police starting to beat and brutalize and grab people and put them in headlocks, we all started linking arms in order to show and give support to each other, gain support from each other. And also to show other students that they didn't have to be scared, that we would have each other's back, and to show the police that their attacks on us would not succeed in intimidating us or stopping us. And so when we were linked together, we were stronger than our own individual selves. We were strong because we were united.
Well, when you're in that situation, you're really just feeling like it's, you know, you feel a lot of emotions, you know, anger at what the police are doing, but also just really being part of something bigger than yourself. It's a real, there are not many opportunities when you get to feel that. I think it was really exhilarating and really exciting. I was the one wearing the backpack in front of my body. I had an idea that they were gonna, be brutal, get out of control, and that these police are not there to protect us, that they are an instrument of a repressive organization, of a repressive administration that's committed to implementing the policies at the end of a billy club.
I just remember being really scared and really angry at what the police were doing, and knowing that we couldn't let them succeed in breaking us apart, or thinking that any damage they inflicted on any single one of us was going to break us as a group. And so while it was happening, and while I saw it happening to other people, I was thinking, I hope I survive this, I hope the rest of us do, but they are not going to win. No matter what, they will not succeed in stopping our movement and in convincing us that what we're doing isn't exactly what has to be done to defend public education.
It's arguing first that it did not violate anyone's First Amendment rights by having police bludgeon students for standing up and defending the right of students to put up tents. It's claiming that the force that was used by the police was not excessive, but was absolutely warranted to carry out the task of removing those tents, which they have no justification for doing.
Bergeneau and what these other administrators who he hired have been committed to doing, which is to make UC Berkeley a place that has a favorable investment environment for British Petroleum and other leaders of industry, as his own op-eds have called them. $500 million coming from British Petroleum. They want to be able to have their investment protected and not have a student movement that could occupy a building, that could really fight the ability of these private interests to control our academic freedom. The fact that they selectively enforced their own supposedly neutral no camping policy. They had allowed criticism against Arizona's anti-immigrant law. They had allowed criticism against South Africa's apartheid system. But when it was criticism of themselves and their own plans of privatization, they suddenly could not tolerate a tent standing up. Flexibility before, no flexibility now. I think we have a clear case.
What this suit can make clear better than anything else is that that administration, which claims to be for the defense of public education, for the rights of the immigrant communities, for defeating Proposition 209 and restoring affirmative action, is intending to do none of those things, and in fact, through its actions, makes clear that it actively opposes what it claims it stands for.